My name is Rachel Frazier, and I'm from Jones Fork Elementary in Knott County. And this year, I actually did 2 grants. I already did a grant over coding in the classroom, and this was my second one for Choose Your Chair, a flexible seating classroom in my objectives were that students will have seating choices along with physical movement to help stay focused. Students will create a student choice-friendly environment by creating rules and procedures. My focus, that flexible seating is the name of the game for the 21st century classrooms. My focus in this project was for students to not only get a choice of where they get to sit, as there are many options, but that students get some type of physical movement in each of those chairs. Through creating a flexible seating classroom to all students in our school, teachers are given an opportunity to innovate a new type of classroom, create an opportunity for student choice, and to regain student attention. Research studies suggest that children who participate in short bouts of physical activity within the classroom have more on-task behavior, with the best improvement seen in students who are least on task initially. And then the integrated thematic model was created to impact growing responsible citizens, and it focused on 10 body-brain compatible elements of curriculum development and instruction, and movement and choices were on that list. Pre-flexible seating survey, 22% of students feel as if they can make choices on what they do in school, and that was mainly at lunch. Which option are you going to choose at lunch? And that was really, they felt as if their only choice was. And then 78% of students feel as if chewing gum, moving around the classroom, or standing would be beneficial to their work. My plan of action, my main thing was I wanted a student-created environment. So the students got to create the classroom rules for the computer lab. So I did all my flexible seating in the computer lab for all students at our school. So they would create the rules, and they would present and model these rules to all students in each class. Students also created rules for each type of chair, and they would model how to use those chairs and how not to use those chairs. And then the students were responsible daily for checking on the room, cleaning it up, and placing the chairs back where they belong. And so this is a picture of my students actually going into the different classrooms and teaching the other students what the rules were going to be, how to use each of the chairs, how not to use the chairs. These were my different types of chairs. We have a wobble chair. There were 2 sizes that we got available. There were smaller ones for our smaller students, and then there were a teen size for our middle school students, and you can see a picture of them here. And then we had balance balls, and these are the student rules that they came up with, and they wrote, and they posted them in the classroom. And then our balance balls, we had 3 different sizes. We had small ones, medium ones, and large ones. So the students would have a choice of which ones they would pick in the computer lab. We also had standing desks, and you can see the rules and what they look like. And I also put on the standing desk, I put stools, because I thought when we go in there to take STAR tests, sometimes that can take an hour. So I would not like to stand for an hour taking a test. So I thought that we would have stools for them to opt to sit on after so long. And then we had rolling chairs, and then the rolling chairs, they could, of course, move it up and down as they wanted to. It was just on their preference. And then you can see their rules that they created for those as well. Monitoring, my evaluation for these, that students would complete an exit slip rating each type of flexible seating. So based on comfort, engagement, and its helpfulness in the classroom. And then students would create a survey for students to reflect on the seating and suggestions on how to improve this 21st century classroom. So this would be like an example of what they would complete each time that they would use them. My results, so 83% of students felt as if they had more choices to make in school because they had different types of chairs to use now. And then 97% of students feel as if the flexible seating is beneficial to their work and helps them stay focused and on task. And that was something that I really noticed as well. I had a lot less behavioral problems in the computer lab. Students would go in, they did not argue really over the types of chairs that they would use, and I was really afraid that that would be more of my problem. You can click the next one. My reflection, so my strengths, student engagement, a student-led environment, and that was really my big thing because of student voice survey. It's all student-led. On program review, it's all wanting student-led activities, and this was a great student-led project that my students got to participate in. Student choice, they had and what kind of chairs they were using, how to use them. They got to make up the rules, and so they kind of got to play the teacher role instead of the student role. And I've noticed a lot more quality student work. while they were using these. So my kids who were most likely to be off task, I would have them go and get one of the flexible chairs and come into the classroom, and they were on task a whole lot more. My limitation would be there was not enough classroom space to use my chairs. I have a lot of desks, and the students who would need these interventions, really, I didn't get to use them a lot more in my classroom as I would like to. My next steps would be more grant work for more options of seating. Through this, I have found that there are 100 different options of chairs available for this. And then my kids actually came up with my other one of creating a flexible technology lab. So to create essentially the same thing but with technology, how they can go in and pick if they're going to use a computer, if they're going to use a tablet, if they're going to use a phone, because each child likes something different, or what type of technology they use. So it might be an Apple or it might be Microsoft that they are more comfortable with. So that was an option that my students actually came up with. And then here's a picture of my before and after. So this was our boring computer lab, and now it's really fun. And then this is just pictures of my students being leaders within the school. They went to each classroom, K through 8, and taught how to use them. They had to make up what they were going to say. They had to come up with all of the rules, and that's them teaching. And there's one more of them using them. That's all.